Well, and that's a perfect opportunity to run into a fairly new segment that we're doing on the show, and that's help Trav find a girl. Now, Brandon, if you're really good at helping your kids, I've got a 29-year-old one right here who's looking for love. What advice can you give my guy here?
Oh,
Be
man.
brutally honest, Prusty. I could use it. The dating market's tough out there, man.
Oh, man. What some advice? Oh, man. I'm not the one to ask for love advice, bud.
Can I give some context so that I can kind of give you some parameters to play with?
You fly to London and come hang out with me. We'll find you a girl.
I don't know if that's going to be better or worse. I know
Good girls out in London.
In Western University? Come on, man.
Yeah. You're out in Van? Are you out in Vancouver?
Yeah, I'm out in Vancouver. It's
yeah.
How do I describe it? We've been talking about trying to get me to get out to Calgary to find more of like a blue collar, more like a let me do the blue job, she does the pink jobs type of deal, because the dating market's tough. You got the men acting like women, the women acting like men type of deal.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't mind. I mean, do the reverse, like find a good hardworking woman that's bringing in some cake and maybe sit back and relax, right?
I tried that. I thought about, if I get a good gal who's like a lawyer, I was actually, so there's this one Latina gal that I've been seeing the last little bit, and she's very spicy to say the least, but she's always flexing on me. Travis, I have my 2 degrees and I have my big girl job. And I was telling Dave on the car ride here, but when we were carpooling to do the show with you, I tell her this all the time. I said, sweetheart, at no course ever in human history has a man ever said, yo, Wills, Prusty, you see that PhD? Oh, it's so hot. Look at that mask. No, it's look at that low cut V shirt. Look what's in the yoga pants. Nobody gives a shit about your degrees, but all these women love their degrees, but it doesn't move the needle for me. So Prusty, as a 29-year-old who has statistically escaped his first divorce by not getting married pre-30 and looking to continue that streak and finding more of a traditional woman, what advice would you give me? Because it is a lot cheaper and easier to learn from the mistakes of others than doing myself.
Well, I mean, one thing is I don't know where you go to find them, right? I don't even know how I met mine. It was usually kind of maybe at a bar or something. Like now, I've never been on a dating app. I don't know how. You just got to get out there, and one's gonna hit you, I think, and you're gonna realize it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not really the one to like. I wouldn't even know where to start to look. Like, did people pick up now with Instagram or like slide into DMs or, I don't know, but you just got to find the one that makes you happy, buddy.
Can I ask, are you still with the same woman from your playing days?
No.
Oh,
I hit that statistic that you just mentioned, that divorced statistic.
Oh, shit.
I was divorced 30, probably 35, I would say.
Oh shit! Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, did you get the cat in the divorce?
No, this is the new one.
Well, I thought I saw a dog crawling around there earlier. Dog parks are always a great spot to meet women. What kind of dog you got running around there?
Yeah, you could do that. Dog park. That's the thing. I'm 41 now. Like I'm not gonna go to the bars to pick up chicks anymore. But I guess if you're desperate, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know what I have found some success in, Prusty, is when I'm out in public and I see a very beautiful woman in my proximity, I will immediately try to find the fattest or oldest or ugliest woman nearby and talk to her to try to like offset, like, oh, look, if he's talking to them, he'll talk to anybody. And then I turn my attention to like who I want to. I've had some success with that. The Instagram does work. It does help having the the check mark and the following, because you shoot right to the top.
Yeah, you don't realize a good looking girl is doing that to you, trying to look for a better looking guy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was telling somebody about that strategy the other day, but I always did it kind of with friends. So out of the bar, you'd have the really, really hot girl that all the guys were kind of, going after or trying to buy a drink, and maybe her friend just wasn't as hot as her, but their friend was kind of, I would always go to the friend. I would always just start talking to the friend and just being that really nice guy, get the friend a drink, even though I wanted her friend. But when it got time to like, hey, what are we doing after? The friend that you've been talking to is going to be like, this guy's really nice. Like, let's go to their place. And he's having some people over. Let's go there because, he's a really nice guy. So, because if that hot girl's getting all the attention, usually the friend is kind of pissed off. And when they say, okay, what are we doing? They're like, the friend would be like, hey, we're going home. We're out of here. But I would be so nice to him that she'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm down to like, go to an after party. So that was always my play. Always kind of go for the friend.
I see. So she wants a little
And then
at
the after party, you go for the really hot one.
Okay.
He's jotting all this down. I know he's making mental notes now.
No, there's some light bulbs. Go ahead, Prusty.
Yeah, but like you said you would kind of talk to somebody else so that the really hot one would notice you and say, oh, he's just a really nice guy, right?
I will say it's interesting. I heard from a good friend of mine that when he has his wedding ring on out in public, he'll get significantly more attention than when he doesn't. And I've noticed that when I have a girlfriend, I get a lot more attention than when I don't.
Forbidden fruit is always more tempting, man.
So maybe
you might have more of a swagger, right? You might have more of a like, I don't really care, or I'm not really looking, right? Girls might like that a little more. So if you're out there and you look desperate, they probably don't like you. They're like, oh, this guy's got empty nest syndrome. He's just looking for anything.
Prusty, this has been a weekly staple for about 2 months, and I think this may have been the most progressive episode that we've had. I've learned quite a bit, and I really do appreciate the insight.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we actually, I'm glad you're enjoying this as well, Dave. We had a high net worth and divorce lawyer actually on the show over the summer. It was a really great conversation for about an hour and a half and talking about basically exactly that and how I think the stat was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, 70% of couples within 365 days of the male retiring from the professional sport, within that time period, the woman is the one filing for divorce 70% of the time. Which I thought, like, that's insane. Over half the couples,
well over half
the couples are pulling the pin after a year. And I thought to myself, we talked with, a good friend of yours, Dale Weiss, in the show, and he was talking about the lifestyle change and how he, immediately, he knew his purpose. He knew what he was doing. There wasn't really much of a switch. But for hearing from other guys, there was, an immediate switch of, chasing excellence in the pursuit. And you're on the top of the world to... I'm just going to go pick up the kids at soccer, drop them off, and get a coffee. It's such a change. I'm wondering, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think, and also, I think it's tough because, when you retire, men go through a tough time, or athletes, I think, when they leave the sport, it's a tough transition because you're never really ready. I know Weesey, he knew what he wanted to do, but most people don't. They have an idea, but they're not really. It's a tough transition, so you can go through a hard time. And I don't know if the wives are just like, I can't wait for you to get over this for that long, and they just are like, peace out, buddy. You're not making that paycheck anymore, and you're not, I'm not going to the game Saturday nights with my Gucci's. So I don't know. But I know a lot of men go through a hard time when they, if the wife can't stick it out maybe too long, or they can't wait a couple of years for you to get, your life back on track, and they just peace out. Maybe that's kind of the mentality of it, or they just get tired of it, or they're not used to being together 24/7 and they kind of get sick of each other. It could be another factor. You're not really sure, but it's definitely a stat that maybe people need to be aware of, just so they can be ready for that, post-retirement.
Hey, more hockey content. It might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?